Hello and welcome back to another review from Vixen. Today we're going to be doing Fantasy Blacksmith. It's an early access, as you can see by the title screen. It was actually offered to me on the Steam Curator system, so I thought, you know, why not? It's not something I'd ordinarily buy, but this is supposed to be about broadening the horizons of gaming, I suppose, if you want to call it that. I have had a little play of it, so we'll go through and have a look. As you can see, it's a standard screen. Just to let you know, it's an early access. A lot of people expect early accesses to be, I don't know, bug free, and they're quite clearly not. And they're not designed to be. These are some of the swords I've made previously. I am just going to change my field of view because I was messing around with the settings before I started with this, so just give me 2 seconds. I'll probably skip this. Okay, well that will do. These are your basic options anyway in your options screen. You have, if you get stuck on some of the things, which is quite common in the earlier versions, you've got a reset position button to do that. There's your tutorial, which obviously I've already completed. Your basic controls, your settings. Your actual goal is basically to become the best blacksmith in these lands. Obviously, with a name like Fantasy Blacksmith, you're going to be making swords. There would be other things. I'm hoping they're going to add some later on in some later versions. But what they've got here so far, it's actually not too bad. It's kind of fun to play anyway. You also have the metals here, where you can see what forging temperature they should be at ideally, the melting temperature where you lose your metals. These are the ones I've unlocked so far. If you head down the staircase, you can see you've got the forge. You have a coke oven in the corner here, a place to cool your swords. There's tons to do anyway. They've actually added in the past couple of days a tutorial manual, which if you open up, you can see it describes a little bit about everything that's in the game. I've actually had a heap of fun playing this. There's lots to do. So basically, if we start with making a sword, you go to your map. You can choose to buy the materials, or you can go down to the mine and mine them. You start off with only the village unlocked, where you can buy things to create your first sword. Constantly doing that with clicking out. You have the town, where you can buy the next level of metal, and you can buy the guards, the handles, the pommels, and a few other bits. The level 2 thermometer is for the level 2 forge. You can add more torches. The metal box is for your Damascus steel, I think it is, and these are for the table in the game that I've not had a lot to do with. It's for this one, which again I think is to do with the Damascus steel. These are just some parts that I picked up earlier, but we're going to take a look at making our own metal bar, because I did this earlier on, so I thought it'd be a cool intro just to show you what kind of happened. These are all ones that I have mined from the mine that is down here earlier, and for me it's a bit of a cheaper way to get the metal bars because I'm a skinflint, and you know I have a problem with hoarding already in games, so I pretty much collect everything there is to collect. So once you've added the copper to the smelter over here, you can either use the coal that you dig, or you can use these boxes that you purchase. So I'm just going to squidge in here and pop it in. If you don't actually squat down and do it, then it just bounces off the objects, which I found out to my frustration quite a few times actually. Up here on the wall you have the notes about the smelters. It'll tell you what you've put in, the average minimum temperature to forge, the maximum temperature to forge, and the average melting temperature of alloy where you actually lose it. So we have 2 minutes for that to melt, so I'm going to head upstairs and see if I can catch this customer that has come to my door in my dungeon. So he wants to buy a sword underneath that costs less than 800 coins. I don't actually have one of those because I only have expensive swords. So you can either choose to take a custom order, which I'm not going to do because that's not the purpose of this review. I'm just going to show you how to do a sword from scratch to start with. So I'm going to say no and goodbye. You'll get this frequently at the door, these knocks, which can be quite annoying, so I'm just going to sling down the do not disturb sign until I've finished what I want to show you. So you can check just by clicking on here and it will tell you whether it's ready or not. I've had a lot of fun with this. I think I've spent about 40 hours or more just messing around with it. It's cool if it's your kind of thing. Like I said, I wouldn't have bought this myself, but I've enjoyed it. Bearing in mind it's an early access, there are still some bugs. I've actually not experienced anything apart from it was before the last update and I lost one of my swords. It literally just fell through the floor, I believe, but it disappeared when I put it down anyway and I couldn't find it again. Sometimes you'll have an issue when you've ordered things from the map. They'll come down in here, which will go up to the ceiling, and after an amount of time has passed it'll come back down with your items. Sometimes it takes a little while to load in. I had that most recently when I bought some items to cast a spell to make a frost sword. I've not seen any blacksmith games that go into that much depth, but this has been quite cool. So we're going to create a metal bar, and to do that you have to design the sort of sword you want. So I'm just going to do a really super basic sword because I lack imagination at the minute, which is fine. Okay, when you've done that you just click confirm and it will pour it down. So you need to take your tongs and pick it up and take it across to the anvil, and then you get to hammer away at it. This does take a little bit of time, but it doesn't take too long. Once it loses its heat, you need to put it back into the forge, which is behind me, and then you need to heat it up to take it back out and hammer it away again into the shape that you want, like so. So we're going to take the tongs and we're going to chuck it into here, and because I have no coal at the minute, I'm going to go and use some of the coal that I dug up. So there's quite a lot to this, which I quite like. There's a lot of stages involved. You can take the temperature with the thermometers. I've actually forgotten which temperature it said, so I'm just going to wait till it gets orange. That's when it tends to be ready to be hammered down. Now that'll do. I'm not too bothered about the quality on this one, as I'm just showing you how it's done. Lots of hammering was done. You can make your own coke in the coke oven. You just take the coal, slam it in there, leave it for 5 minutes I think it is, open it up, use the tongs to get it out and pop it back in the giant furnace here. Alright, I'm going to nip and get some more coal because I don't think that's heating up too well. Okay, apparently not. It will heat up, damn it! Oh, there we go. It obviously wasn't in the flames far enough. So put it back on the table. Hammer it some more. It's more fun with the metals that take a higher temperature to actually enable you to hammer them a bit. Because it takes longer to cool down, so you have more time to hammer them down. I'm not so great with the blacksmith terminology because, again, it's not actually something that I would have bought myself, but having it offered was always cool. If you haven't seen the Steam Curator page, please feel free to drop in and say hello. It's literally just little reviews. If you're not familiar with the Steam Curator system, it allows you to write small reviews, no more than 200 words. Oh my gosh, as if that's failed and it's done close. Okay, this is the kind of thing you'll see in early access. See if we can't finish that off. There we go, it was heated enough to finish it off anyway. So we're going to take that and we'll cool it down. And into here. Okay, I think I'm supposed to do that first. So now we have to grind it down. Once you've cooled it down, you press C to spin and you hold the grind button while grinding. Now you have to hit a certain percent a number of times. And that's that done. So then you will take it over to here, which I haven't put the handle parts in, but we're going to assemble the blade now. So you have your tip, you have your handle, and you have the pommel. So you can put those on any order onto here and it will place it automatically for you, which is great. So this system, you have to obviously click the hit button, and where the bar is, you have to get it up where it's past the good mark, and it'll give you a percentage, and once all the percentages are added together, it'll define how good your sword is. So I'm just going to hit and hope here. I'm not going to focus too much on it. Now obviously it's 3 parts, so you have 3 sessions to go through. So there we go, your total average for the handle is 90.55, so there you have a sword that is ready to sell. So you then head upstairs. Now you can choose to enchant your sword with the magic crystals. These are some of the runes I've collected already. This one I've already enchanted with the soul enchant. You can use the magic system. Let me pop this down and I'll show you what you can use. On here you have a list of all the spells you can use to turn the swords into. Well, you've got a frost sword, a fur sword, a web sword, ghost, saint, hydra, magic, lava and water. Each one of these requires different ingredients and they're actually quite specific, and you do have to time how long you do between each step. And to help you with that, if you press C, you have a little clock here. Which, obviously, because I've increased the field of view, you actually can't see it very well right now. But I wanted you to see everything. When you're mining, you can come across artifacts which you can sell. Sometimes you get customers come to the door and they will want to buy an artifact instead of a sword. So this is where you sell those. So if we head back downstairs, I've shown you the basics of creating a sword. I shall take you down to the mine and you can see what's there. So you just head down here. The lighting isn't great, so I have turned the brightness up. You literally just take your pickaxe, all of the walls are breakable, and you hack away at them until you get things drop out. Now I can keep going till we get something, but I'm not sure how long it will take. It can range from copper ore, you can get silver, there's all sorts of different ores, as well as coal, artifacts. You can get bone pieces which you can turn into a bone handle. Here we have, let's have a look, we have silver ore. So we'll go and put that. I tend to drop them in the cart before I actually go back up, just because it saves multiple trips. It seems a sensible thing to do. So you can go up. I purchased 2 sets of storage shelves in the map section so that I could store everything. You can also find skulls for the enchanting. Anyway, there's a ton to do. I'm going to say that I'm going to recommend this game only because I am a huge advocate of supporting early access developments, and the developer actually seems quite active. He's updated regularly since I've got the game, and I'm enjoying playing it. They could do with perhaps adding, I don't know, an assistant shopkeeper so that you're not bothered with the knocking all the time. Yes, you can put the do not disturb sign down, but you're potentially losing customers, and I don't particularly want to stand around at the door for 3 to 5 minutes, however long it takes the customers to come. It's just one of those things that I don't want to do. So having an assistant in here that would be able to take those orders for you and give you perhaps, I don't know, a 30-minute window to complete those orders in, I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe less, who knows. It would also be good to have the opportunity to add more lighting. I like the dingy feeling. When you first load the game, it's quite dark, and I've actually had to turn the brightness up. I think I mentioned that previously, just because I couldn't see what I was doing and it was driving me crazy. If you have any questions about this, feel free to ask. I'll answer as best I can. I pretty much know what I'm doing in this game. I've figured out how to do the enchanting table. At first I didn't realise there was a top section here as well. I thought there was only one section at the bottom, which made it quite damn near impossible to actually enchant anything. Once I realised there was a section at the top, everything was a hell of a lot easier. Let me know what you guys think if you've played this game. Did you like it? Didn't you? Are there any improvements that you want to see? Let me know. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you all again soon. Bye for now.